Okay, looks like we're about ready to start. So good afternoon, everyone. My name's Tom Kelly. Welcome to this 8th in the webinar series of the Business English course. Today we'll be looking at the report writing module. Here's a brief rundown of what we'll be covering in today's session. We'll give a bit of background about the Direct English International Language Centre. Then we'll talk a bit about the parent groups, Linguaphone UK and Direct English UK. We'll have an overview of the Business English course, and then we'll go on to our sample topic, report writing. Then we have some information to share about our current promotion that we're running before reviewing some question and answers and opening the floor to further questions. So we'll start by talking about the Direct English International Language Centre here in Kuala Lumpur. Now we're based fairly centrally in the town centre. We've got some great public transport links. We're not far from the LRT Masjid Jamek, and we're right next to St John's Cathedral. Very easy to find us. Here's a couple of pictures of our office area. We've got classroom and language workshops here, and you can see the common study area, along with some of the materials that you can use for further study in your own time, as well as some of the computers that we use for the examinations. We have several experienced and friendly professional teachers on hand to help you with your language needs and progress you through any of the courses that you're signed up for. Now, Direct English International Language Centre is an authorised test centre for LinguaSkill. This is by Cambridge Assessment English. Now, this was developed in the mid-90s to provide a modular assessment method for assessing language skills, and is currently used by leading universities and employers around the world. The DEILC is also a member of the National Association of Private Educational Institutions in Malaysia, and this group seeks to further the interests of private learning institutions and to raise Malaysia's profile as a centre of educational excellence across the world. Now, the DEILC offers a wide range of courses and short courses. We do language workshops, all provided by our Linguaphone group and Direct English UK parent companies. Our two core products are the Business English course that we're going to talk about in a minute, and the General English course, which is a more overview kind of language course that aims to help adults raise their proficiency in English generally. So we'll talk a bit about our parent companies then, Linguaphone Group and Direct English UK. Now, the Linguaphone Group was founded over 100 years ago and is recognized as a leading global language training provider. They're based in the UK, but they have an impressive network of licensed partners and distributors delivering some of the very best English language programs. And they've successfully developed language training and learning programs to millions of language learners, both adults and children, in over 60 countries around the world. There's 100,000 adult learners pass the Direct English courses every year. So I'll look at some of these countries now. Direct English has a strong presence in 22 countries, and they operate over 90 live centres around the world, including our centre in Kuala Lumpur. List of countries here you can read through, and also a nice illustration to indicate the presence right the way through Europe, the Middle East, and of course right across Asia as well. So we'll talk a bit now about the Business English course, give you a bit of a taste of what you're signing up for. Now, this course is tailored specifically for professionals and working adults who wish to brush up their English skills and communication skills. It aims to build confidence among professionals and working adults so that they can carry out their business functions in the workplace or in the corporate world using their new language skills. Okay, a couple of companies who have benefited from our training programs over the years. We've got Microsoft, General Electric, EY, IBM, Maersk, and Hewlett-Packard. These companies have used Direct English as their English language training provider of choice, and we've helped develop their staff skills for many years. And here are some of the other companies that the DEILC has assisted with training courses and language workshops over the years as well. Okay, so when you sign up for the course, you'll be receiving your course materials in a language pack like this one. This comes with a course book and a workbook full of activities for you to study in your own time. There is a PC video disc and an audio CD full of examples that are relevant to each of the modules. And as you go through in the live sessions, you'll be referring to those and doing exercises based on what you see in here. Now, the learning is also supported by the Direct English Interactive. So we have online learning materials that will help improve your English proficiency as well. Very useful for learning on the go. Just need an internet connection to access that. So why choose the Business English course from Direct English? Well, it's highly flexible and practical in its delivery. We try and focus on elements that are important to you personally, or to try and help you learn around your regular working schedule. Talk a bit more about that in a minute. We cover aspects of social English, which is very useful for networking and for building up your confidence in social situations, talking with customers at a conference, and improving your business network. We provide learners with an avenue to engage in clear communication, and hopefully the skills that you pick up in our live sessions will be things that you can carry forward with you and start using immediately in the workplace. We provide a very clear sense of purpose to keep you feeling motivated and excited to join in with the lessons, and to keep you studying the material in your own time as well. Very important for building up confidence and proficiency. So again, build up confidence among working adults. Again, the more you use the language skills that you're developing, the quicker you'll build up your confidence and you'll start feeling the effects immediately. Now, when you've completed the course, you can sit for an assessment exam, and you've passed that, you'll be awarded the Certificate of Achievement from our parent company, Direct English UK. That's a great thing to take away from the course and indicates your commitment to proving yourself and improving your language skills. Here's a brief overview of the units that are covered by the Business English course. We have 2 units on different aspects of telephoning, because of course a lot of speech and listening goes ahead over the phone. You don't always get to speak to people face to face, especially not these days. And it's not easy to talk to people sometimes when you're not able to get any visual feedback, read people's body language or facial cues. So we'll look at that in units 1 and 2. The 3rd unit is on team working. We start by setting up a team and setting goals, assigning tasks for people, and how to review moving forwards that the team is working effectively, and how to present this material to stakeholders. In the 4th unit, we look at social English. Again, that's using English in social settings. Maybe you've been tasked with showing a customer around a city for the first time, or perhaps you're at a conference or another industry event where you wish to build up a professional network. We give you tips on how to keep a conversation flowing, how to steer it in a certain direction, and how to introduce new topics into the conversation. Unit 5 focuses on presentations, a very important business skill, of course. We want you to be able to get your material across in an effective and concise manner, both in the visual presentation materials that you supply and in your delivery. Unit 6 looks at customer care, and in this unit we are focusing more on customer-facing positions within a company. Obviously, it's important to treat your customers with a lot of respect, even though sometimes they don't have the same level of respect for you. If they have an issue or they're facing a problem, even though it's not your fault, you have to be able to deal with it in the proper way. So we're going to also talk about negotiations, maintaining good relations with other companies during a negotiation, moving backwards and forwards. And then unit 8 and 9 have elements of managing change in them, and how you can convey the change that you need to take place within your company to other members of staff and get them on board and make them comfortable with what you're trying to achieve. So now we look at some of the intake dates. for the Business English course. As you can see, there are two ways of learning the Business English material. We can either help you with weekend classes. These will happen once a week and are 4 hours long, or there are 2 sessions during the week on a Monday and Thursday evening, and each of these sessions are 2 hours long. So whether you're learning at the weekend or during the weekday, you're doing 4 hours a week for, looks like 8 weeks. So that's a total of 32 hours to cover all the material in the course. And of course, we'll try and fit this around your regular working schedule. So if you sign up now for the September intake, we're offering a free English level assessment. If you can scan the QR code on this slide, you'll be put in touch with our WhatsApp sales channel and they'll be able to assist you. This material will be emailed out to you so you can complete the assessment, send it back to us, and we'll provide you your English level assessment completely free of charge. And talk to you quickly about conversation classes. We're also running these conversation classes at Direct English. Our classes are part of the Direct English learning system and have been carefully planned to fit into the customer's overall learning program. Now, the class materials have been designed to stimulate natural conversation with our Direct English learners, and the conversations practiced are related to the Business English units and topics. So joining these conversation classes, if we've just done the unit on presentation, we'll be having a lot of back and forth in the class regarding that topic. So right now, if you sign up for our 28th September intake, we're offering a promotion whereby you can gain access to the Business English course and the conversational class, both at a highly discounted rate of 980 ringgit. As you can see on your screen there, fantastic discount. And we'll be reviewing this information again before the end. So don't worry if you can't get it down now. This is a special promotion just for people sitting into the webinar. So I'm glad you're tuning in for it. Okay, now we're going to look at our sample lesson for this week, which is the final unit in the material, writing reports. So writing reports is a common task, not only in the business sector, but in lots of other professions as well, such as scientific positions and academic positions also require lots of focus on writing reports. So although different companies and cultures have their own requirements for their style of report, they often have the same common factors and structure, as well as some common language content that we can go through now and talk about. Now, this unit obviously has a lot of reading and writing, which doesn't translate well to a video session such as this, but I'm going to do my best with the time we've got. We're going to review the structure of a report, and then we'll talk a bit about it as it develops. So the first thing you might want to include in a report, maybe on a title page, is the type of headings that we're going to use. These typically include the title of the report, name of people who compiled it and wrote it, contributed to it, as well as the date of publication to make sure that people know how long the information has been relevant for. Other things you might want to include are a list of people who are being circulated the same report, and maybe even an executive summary. So looking at the example from the book, we've got the first thing we see in this report is actually the company name, which I agree with fully. The title of the report, you can see there underneath in a slightly different font to the rest of the report, the costs and benefits of Chinese language operations for GlobalNet. Then you can see the list of names of the person who wrote it, Nick Phillips, as well as the circulation list. A circulation list is useful if the information within the report is considered confidential. If you only want certain parts of the company to be able to see it, such as a report into bonuses or pay, obviously you don't want this report going out to everybody. You want it kept within the circulation list. So it's a good thing to include on business reports such as this. Now, the second part is the introduction. Now, this section lays out some background information into any problem or the subject matter to make the purpose of the report clear. We need to know why it's important to read the report. What's the purpose of what we're going to discuss? So it may also outline some procedures or methods taken if you are committing a survey or trying to indicate some kind of market information. This one is very brief. It just says that the report examines the benefits and costs of translating the GlobalNet website materials into Chinese and providing a Chinese support team. It also states that the report has been requested by a member of the company, Jane Campbell, and her name was in the list of circulated staff members just now. So the main body of the report is where you'll look further into the problem and look at the arguments for and against with any factual evidence to support it. So this is where the logical chain of the argument begins that will eventually lead to your report's conclusion. So this is where there'll be a lot of detail. This will be the main focus of what you write. And we'll look through it as well now. So they start off by giving a bit more background of the problem, the fastest growing segment for international customers, that there's no material available that uses Chinese language. So there's a lot of back and forth in this report. Nick is saying quite a lot about how they've interviewed some of their customers in China, and they would agree that they would like to see some of this support material being provided in their own language. But at the same time, they are also the fastest growing company in the sector. Their share keeps rising, growing year upon year. So even though they haven't done any of the things that they're proposing in the report, they're still growing quite considerably, gaining more customers. And they're going to have to make a decision at the end whether or not they will need to provide this material. So they had a look at a cost survey to determine how much it would cost to translate all of their material and their website and software, as well as providing a local support team. And I think what they probably could have done is linked this to an appendices. Certainly in my company, we would need to provide a bit more proof than just figures. We'd need to have the quotations from each of the independent accountancy firms that Nick is referring to. And we would need to include that in the appendices to support what we're saying, to show that what we're discussing is true. It's not always appropriate to put this level of detail in the main body of the report, as too much information and data tends to break up the flow. We want to keep this as more of a flowing argument, an argument with yourself if you're the only one writing it, and any heavy data should be kept at the back of the report in the appendices. So if people are interested enough, they can refer to the data and go through it, but it shouldn't be right in the middle of the report. Okay, so the conclusion sums up the findings of the report and presents it in a concise manner. So this section is often read first, along with recommendations. If people are busy, they often just want to get to the point and see what the point of the report is. So it still needs to contain all the key messages and findings of the report, just in a very concise manner. So the main conclusion that Nick comes to is that there isn't a clear link between translating Chinese materials and expanding their business in that market. So even though they don't have these materials, they still seem to be the fastest growing software, the solution. And he does say on the one hand that the customers would appreciate it, but it's not the first thing that they look for when they're looking for a email solution provider. So it's something that they'll consider moving forwards, but it's not something that needs action at this time. And the recommendations, again, will include that kind of information. Any tables or further information, research or financial data should be kept at the recommendations and appendices area of the report to avoid breaking up the flow of the report. So they shouldn't be complacent. Recommended to do a 6-month in-depth market research survey to see if potential sales will be worth the investment that is required, and to take it from there after that. Okay, it's just a quick couple of things we can do at the end of this. We look at some of the phrases in the blue box that we can see here and put them into which area of the report we feel that they belong. If you want to have a go at this yourself, or if you're reviewing this later, feel free to pause now and try to complete the table. I'm going to move on now. So in the introduction, we might say, a phrase such as the purpose of this report is to analyze and then review the purpose of it. As the situation now stands would be in the main body of the report, where we're setting out the arguments for or against proceeding with the action that we're going to recommend. The conclusion, well, there's a number of important conclusions from this study. So we'll list down what these are. This is something, again, that many people will read first. So it's important to lay out all the key information as concisely as possible. And I would recommend, of course, would go in the recommendations. Okay, at the DEILC, we believe in an integrated approach to learning languages. We like to address listening and speaking and reading and writing all at the same time, building up our learners' confidence and proficiency of each of these aspects of their English at the same time. So even though these modules, telephone, socializing, presentations, meeting, and negotiations, sound like listening and speaking exercises, you will be doing reading and writing in them as well. There's lots of aspects where we're writing reports and emails to follow up with our conversations and our phone calls. And of course, reading and understanding and writing reports is just as important as being able to speak a language. So we've got a bit of details about our promotion again for you. Like I said, if you sign up for our 28th September intake, you'll receive a free English language assessment. The link is here in the chat window in the Zoom session, or if you're watching on Facebook, this is something that you can get in contact with our sales channel via Facebook or WhatsApp, and we'll be able to provide you the link. Follow the link, complete the assessment, and send it back to us, and we should have the results to you within 24 hours. These information will be emailed out to you. And again, if you sign up for the 28th September intake of the Business English course, you can enjoy this wonderful promotion where you are given access to the Business English and the conversational classes for a hugely discounted rate of 980 ringgit. That's available because you're sitting through our webinar session now. So I hope you take advantage of this. Join us next week for our webinar when we're going to be discussing the topic Success for the IELTS listening exam. This will be on, what was that, next week? Looks like 2 weeks. Anyway, the 2 weeks, it will be on the Friday, 1 p.m, similar time to this one. And if you want to watch any of our previous webinar sessions, you can find us on YouTube. We have our channel at Direct English International Language Center, and you should be able to review any of the materials or try any of the exercises you want here. There is a QR code on this slide, which, if scanned, will put you in contact with our WhatsApp sales channel, and you can discuss your options moving forward with any of our courses there. Or you can review the videos on Facebook, drop us an email, and there's our website as well, directenglish.edu.my. So I'll come back to this slide maybe at the end and help give you a bit more time to review this. I'm going to move on to our Q&A briefly. We've got a few frequently asked questions to go through if there aren't any other questions. The Business English course includes 8 weeks. It's 8 weeks of material, which you can either have live sessions twice a week for 2 hours. So that will be 16 sessions on a Monday and a Thursday evening. Or if you want to, we can help you learn during the weekend. On a Saturday morning, you'll receive 4-hour sessions for 8 weeks. So both of those total up to 32 hours. Are there any entry requirements for the course? We do insist that you sit for the Direct English Placement Test prior to enrolling on the course. That's why the offer in this webinar is so great. You get to do this for free. Your English proficiency must be at least an A2 or B1 CEFR level. And if not, we have some material that can help raise you up to that standard. But this is the standard that we insist you be at in order to enroll in the course, in order to gain the most benefit from the materials. Do you charge registration fees? Well, normally we'd ask for a 100 ringgit registration fee, If you sign up today, then we'll waive the registration fee as well. Again, this is an exclusive offer for webinar participants. So apart from this course, does the Centre offer any other courses? Well, of course, we have the General English course, which we discussed briefly. We also have IELTS preparation courses. We run English for marketing, English for human resources, very focused courses on those business roles. And of course, we have conversational classes. There are a number of other short courses and conversational workshops available. Get in touch with us via WhatsApp or Facebook to find out more. And are there any hidden charges for the free English level assessment? No, it's free to you, again, because you are participating in this webinar series. We're offering all of these things for free. The links, again, for the English level assessment, if you're interested, are in the Zoom chat. Please get onto those now if you want to sign up, and they'll be available via our Facebook page as well if you get in touch with our team via Facebook. Okay, that's the end. There don't seem to be any more questions. Let's see. Okay, so we'll go back to this slide just to give you another chance to get down any of the contact details that you're interested in. We have the QR code, our phone numbers, email, website, or you can follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, or Instagram. And that's about it from me today. Thank you very much for joining us on behalf of the Direct English International Language Centre and myself. I hope you found the topic interesting. Hope we were able to share a bit of our experience and knowledge with you, something you'll find useful. And hope you have a very good weekend. Look forward to seeing you in the next webinar session or in a lesson before then. And wish you all the very best of luck with your learning journeys. So I'm going to switch off the camera now, but I'll leave the slide up for as long as you need. Take care until next time. Thank you very much.